All right, creative passion, freedom for you, tools to do what it is you want to do. Are we doing all right here? Okay, awesome. One last thing I want to say is that we're going to announce right now that next year, around fall, we're going to be putting together a vampire convention, not just for you, but for vampire aficionados all over the world in the French Quarter of New Orleans. You ain't seen nothing yet. So we hope to see you all there. Check out the video on YouTube's White Wolf Games channel, and maybe you'll see yourself and be famous. And thank you so much, and have a wonderful... Yes?
You've talked about a lot of changes for the club, and we're not really sure what's going on, I think. Can you maybe get a little more detail on how the camp's going to get affected by some of this stuff? Because we love White Wolf, and we love CCP, but we're also really concerned about our organization and where we're headed.
No. Well, let's see. What we're essentially saying is that we want to let you do more self-governing and have less of a puppeteering role from CCP. We want you to make the rules that you want to make. In other words, anything that has been dysfunctional in the process, talk among yourselves. This is talk with your volunteer leadership, and say, we'd like to improve this in this way. And we'll say, awesome. We're going to be more hands-off. We're still going to support the organization. We're going to give you the digital tools that, that Ryan described, and we're developing it as we go along. Okay.
So today, nothing changes whatsoever. Kelley is still the head of the in-house part of the CAM, and you have an existing structure that is the management structure for the volunteer part of the CAM. What we're saying to that leadership is we want to have a dialogue with you that will result in you becoming an autonomous, self-governing organization. We're not going to kick you out. We're not going to shut the door. What we're saying is let's start that conversation now, and over the next couple of months, let's figure out how to make that make sense for the club and for CCP. So there shouldn't be any trauma. There should just be a gradual series of good strategies and good conversations with a lot of feedback from the membership of the club about how you want to move forward. And we want to empower the management of the club to make decisions about things, about the kinds of chronicles that you run, so that you can run the kind of chronicles that you want to run, not the kind of chronicles we want you to run. But it should be gradual, and it should be easy, and it shouldn't be traumatic.
Can I have that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, to speak in CAM-E's terms. The tools that Ryan was speaking about is something I'm very excited for. The CRD issues like we're having with approval query lockdowns, and we have, and you have trouble accessing those materials, that will be incorporated. And so when we hope to have the beta test and the launch and incorporated by the end of next year, CRD functionality will be replaced by this new tool. This will enable the storytellers to disseminate information easier. You will keep your character sheets and logs on there. That support tool is to help address the needs from mechanical aspect that the CAM has needed. One of the things we're going to take as initiative going forward that Shane mentioned is looking at the handbook. It's been 5 years. It was good when it was written. It's now time to revise those rule sets and those bylaws, make it smaller, make it easier to understand, make it reflect where the CAM is headed. That's not going to be dictated from on high. After this meeting is over, the CAM Council will be talking, once we get the MSA announced, which will be done after the proctors review the votes tonight, and we start the election part of the NC, and that'll take a week. Once the new members of the council are installed, the CAM Council will be then directing with the U.S. membership a search committee, a volunteer committee to help look at our current handbook and what we need to do to change it for this next iteration of the relationship with CCP. Does that help answer some of your concerns, Lana?
Very much so, thank you.
Okay. We're not... And like they said, I'm still going to be involved. I will be your White Wolf point of contact with the Camarilla while we are doing all this transition. Eddie is still going to be doing time, poor Eddie, as liaison man answering developer-oriented questions about, really, can you ask the developers, will this break the game? Is this coming out soon? And he will still work with all the ST chain to make that happen. You're going to leave today, and your game's not going to change. Your characters are not going to be reset. Well, when milestones happen in December, your characters get new stuff. And that was all done internally. This is a great example. Internally, the Camarilla management sat there. The NSTs took the input from all the players. The NSTs went to Global and went to Michelle and said, okay, characters have been reset. We're having issues with volunteerism. We're having satisfaction issues and game balance. And just like Michelle promised everybody that we would revisit that issue once we got through the first couple of months, that's what happened. You're going to see a lot more of that type of activity where the affiliate representatives are going to have a lot more direct say on where the CAM goes in the future. That also help, Lana? Now, we're not going to do a Q&A session beyond this point here, guys, so you can put your hands down, because there's just stuff we can't talk about right now. It is still a lot of theoretical, directional stuff. What I want you to do at this point is go home. And when you do, and you will go home, you can't stay here, but when you're blogging about this, when you're Facebooking, when you are Twittering, when you're talking about this, share with your friends, because you guys are here. You have heard this. You can share with them what you heard and you saw here. We will have the videotapes up. Communicate with everybody. There are going to be questions, but give, particularly in the U.S. members, a little bit of time for your new council members to get into place before we start bombarding them. Can everybody say yes, Kelley? Yes, Kelley. Excellent. Everyone, thank you for coming to ICC 2009. This event is closed.